You're now tuned into the Money Level Show.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Money Level Show, where we think, act, and prosper. This channel focuses on changing financial trajectories and building legacies. I'm your host, Daryl Thomas, and today, some of you that are watching this may have come up with plans to get out of debt and to be financially free. And so if you have come to this video, you have come to the right place. So debt is everywhere. Our government, corporations, and even citizens are heavily in debt. This applies to all people around the world. Debt can be bad and it keeps a stronghold on the borrower, making it hard to breathe because of its effects. Debt is so bad that even in ancient times, writings in the Bible address that the borrower is slave to the lender. So are you tired of being a slave to the lender? Working long hours only to give your additional income to the bank? My friend, this is not the way I want to live either. So you and I are on this journey together. And I hope that this video can give you some legitimate solutions to the debt problem. According to some studies, Americans currently hold on average $100,000 in debt. Currently, interest rates are held at 5.25 to 5.5%, with projections of rate cuts in 2024. However, creditors are charging a higher premium over those rates, and this is often tied to your credit score. Every month, you are being charged interest on your loan or credit card, and this is the money killer. Your hard-earned income is paying the creditor a premium on the money that they lent you. Everyone's situation is different, with different scores, interest rates, and such, so I don't want to make this video specific to any type of individual. However, if we were to break down the cost of debt, you can see that the amount that we are paying on interest is significant. That does not feel good. Your hard-earned money should be in your pocket and should not be going to the bigs. So it would be unfair for me to just talk about the problem and not give you any solutions. So let's get into some solutions. There are multiple ways to reduce and pay down your debt. So please pick what works for you and discard whatever you do not need. I have broken this up into ways to pay down debt and also alternate finance methods that could be helpful. So let's start with the debt repayment methods. One method is the snowball method. This method of payment is intended to give you confidence that you can tackle your debt. Beware though, it has its pros and cons. The snowball method is paying your lowest balance first. Let's say you have 3 credit cards. One balance is at $500, one balance is at $3,000, and another balance is at a whopping $15,000. The snowball method would encourage you to pay minimum payments on the other 2 cards and put all the extra money towards the lowest balance. This gives the borrower confidence once they see the balance decrease and eventually paid off. Once the smallest balance is paid, the method moves to the second largest balance owed. Now, this method takes a lot of self-discipline because when you're paying off one card, it can be tempting to increase the balance of the other cards. So experts like Dave Ramsey would encourage you to cut up your credit cards, literally, so that you don't use them. One drawback with this method is that if your higher balance credit cards have higher interest rates than your lowest balance credit cards, then you will see more of your minimum payments being eaten up by interest while you're paying the smallest balance card down. The second method is the avalanche method. This entails paying off your highest balance card first, throwing everything at it, and paying the minimum amount on your smaller balance cards. This method can save you a lot of money in the long run because your higher balances are likely going to have more interest. However, it takes a huge amount of self-discipline to pay these balances down and not get fatigued and discouraged. Nonetheless, you save more money in the long run. You also don't want to add to the balances of your other cards where you're paying down the balance of your card with the largest balance. The drawback to this method is that you may not get the confidence boost you would by paying down the lowest balance cards first. Now, let's talk through some alternate ways to finance and pay down debts. One way is debt consolidation loans. These have their pros and cons, and if your credit score is low, your approval odds will be low. Or you may have to pay a monstrous amount of interest to cover the risks to the lender. This method will consolidate your credit, which has its pros and cons. Having all of your loans in one place can be convenient and easy to track. It's also a fixed loan, so you're not able to pull money back out of it as you pay it down. This is the opposite of revolving credit such as credit cards. Using this option could be helpful as long as you have the self-discipline to not open any new accounts after consolidation. One drawback is that your credit will temporarily be plummeting. If you pay all of your balances at once and close your accounts, this affects the length of credit history, especially if accounts that you've had for a long time have been closed. The second way to pay down your debt is to open a new credit card. Now wait, hear me out, please. This is a credit card with the promotion of no interest for 12 to 24 months. This card typically allows you to do a balance transfer where you could transfer all or a portion of the balance of your cards with higher interest to a card with no interest. This gives you a chance to make the minimum payment on your card with no interest and begin to pay down your cards with significantly higher interest rates. But there is one caveat. If you do not pay the balance of your new card, you will begin to be charged interest when that card promotion is up. So you cannot neglect to pay that card down too. The third way you can pay your debt down is to get a loan from a family member or friend. This can be contractual or not, depending on your values and your relationship with that person. However, let's say you are able to obtain a loan from a family member or friend. If this loan is given to you at no interest, then that's great because it helps relieve the debt burden. But even if the interest rate is as low as 5%, this is better than paying 6 to 29% to the bank, and it keeps money in the family unit and amongst your circle of friends rather than going to the bigs. The obvious drawback to this is the strain that money can create in your relationships, especially if you miss a payment, make up excuses, and let alone default. The fourth and obvious method is to do what people have always done and to get a second job or pick up a side hustle. Do some landscaping, delivery services, graphic design, etc. This can help you get ahead of the curve in paying your debt and ultimately reduce the amount of time it takes for you to become debt-free. The drawback to this is the wear and tear on your body, and if you have a family, it reduces the amount of time you can spend with them because you will likely be tired a lot. So I encourage you to have a plan if this is the course of action you'd like to take, because time is your most valuable asset. Now that was a lot, but I hope this was helpful. I also want to say there are anomalies of people winning the lottery, making a huge amount of money off of cryptocurrency and such. Be careful if your personality is geared towards speculation for a big break, because this can break you. Be wise and diligent, working hard at your goals. If you happen to catch a break, then that is fine, and be responsible with the money. However, this isn't the case for the majority of people, so I wouldn't live my life anticipating that break. I hope that this was helpful for you all. Be sure to hit the like button and the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.